What's up, y'all? It's Creation Podcast with Darius.
And me, Bree.
Breezy. So, today we got a couple topics. We want to talk about, like, this whole ongoing debate as far as boys in the kitchen set, but we want to go deeper as far as life skills. And want to talk about the educational system overall. But she got some points she want to hit on. She want to go into that. So
let's start with the kitchen stuff. I don't know if you want to start with that.
We can start with that.
I feel like this is a silly conversation to even have to be had.
It really is. This shit is
ridiculous.
Because this shit is a life skill. Cooking is literally the one thing that all humans should know how to do. I mean, we don't have the garden. It's not like back in the day where you could just travel the land and pick fruits and find your food from the land. This shit is all product and produce, or you got to get fast food if you want to spend money. Now, that's another aspect of it, the financial aspect. Damn, I ain't think of that. Because when you know how to cook, that saves you a lot of money.
This is a survival skill.
It's a survival. I just shared this meme too, because I was like, damn, I'm saving a lot of. I was up. I was counting my money. I'm like, damn, what's the common denominator? I'm like, shit, I ain't been eating out. So like, it literally is a lifesaver that I know how to cook. And being a man, it's not even a thing that's feminine to me in no aspect, because like when you look at chefs, with my job is like 80% of that shit is all male.
Talk about it. Women are in the kitchen, like y'all want to act like
that
this is a
crazy.
Gender role. And women are in the kitchen every day, but women are not even, it's hard for women to become a chef and to be out there. So like males are prominent in the cooking field. Yeah. They're the ones who run that shit, honestly, which is strange. And that's a whole, male feminine thing. But you should want your son to know how to cook. You should be preparing your son when he's 18. It's not like, oh, prepare your daughters. And I've had women tell me this, like their mothers raised them to be wives. Okay, cool. You should be prepared on how to survive and how to provide for your family, not just as a female, but also as a male. When you get 18 and dudes are like, all I know how to do is make toast and hot dogs and ramen, that noodles. Don't work.
Right.
That's not going to work. Like, yeah, you might be a broke college student or whatever out here on your own, but you should know how to make a meal. On Thanksgiving, the boys should be in the kitchen with the women. They shouldn't be sitting on the couch doing nothing. Like, I don't know why y'all think that this is a one or the other. Like, everyone should know these basic life skills, and that's on period.
Yeah.
And to think that if you want to act like this is homosexual for a boy to be playing in a kitchen, like, so do you literally never expect him as an adult to pick up a pot and stir that and provide for his children? If his woman is at work and he can't make cream of wheat for breakfast, that's a problem. That's a problem. And to have a man who can cook is a whole damn blessing. Like when you can come downstairs and breakfast is being made and it smells good, and like, that's beautiful. You shouldn't have to be surprised that your man can cook, because men should know how to cook just like women should. And women, if you don't know how to cook, learn.
Yeah, that's even sad in itself, because that's an issue too, because a lot of women don't know how to cook. So all in all, this is a life skill that every adult should know, even young men, young women. Like, I remember my mom being a single parent, she had to go to work and school full time. So she taught me early, like, all right, this is in there, this is in there. You can heat this up, this leftovers, or you can make this grilled cheese like this. She just taught me how to cook certain basic, simple things. And that alone will take you so far, because once you start experimenting and figure out what you can and can't do, you're gonna get the skills. It's not like rocket science. It's just, you motherfuckers gotta do this shit. Stop being lazy. Stop going to fast food. Stop eating out. Save your money. Be smart. Be mindful of what you're doing.
I feel like this whole conversation is like so entirely goofy, because like there's so many levels to this. Like, and someone said that they heard like they're getting more of this gay talk, that is gay for a little boy to be cooking with a kitchen set from women. I don't even want to be funny, but like, were you not raised around a father who participated equally? Because my dad worked like 7 days a week, but when he was at home, he would make us breakfast. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, dinner wasn't his thing. That was my mom's thing. But he would make us a full breakfast, pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, whatever we needed. And even to think like the next level of this like whole conversation is like, oh, should a boy play with a doll? Well, it's homosexual. Get that doll out of his hand. Get that baby out of his hand. Ain't he gonna have a baby someday? that he's gonna have to know how to take care of. Like, this is not there's nothing sexual about it. There's nothing gender profiling about it. He's a human. He's going to have to raise a child someday, feed a child someday. You're not preparing him for life. And it's like, okay, it's just a toy. You don't have to be that deep. But y'all making it this deep. It's silly. It doesn't even have to be this deep, like, to be honest. But so, like, things that we should also be taught as women, like, this just opens up a whole broader conversation. It's goofy to talk about, but it opens up something even broader. Like, as women, should you know how to change your oil? Should you know how to change your tire? I mean, our sons don't either because they're not prepared for that. But where does the gender role, where does the line shift? Like, when I used to cut the grass in my house, people would drive by and be like, why are you cutting the grass? He should be cutting the grass. I love to cut the grass. It makes me happy. I feel like I'm exercising. I get outside. I like to do that. Should he not be pulling the weeds in his house because that's feminine? Should he not be planting flowers? Like, I don't understand the constructs that y'all have. It's just strange. And like, y'all, there's so many things to be pressed about in life, and this is a goofy ass thing to be pressed about. Like, it's literally just bothersome to me that this is a conversation for real.
To me, it's like you may have some insecurities if you think that a toy or anything can influence your child. Like, subconsciously, you must know that you don't have control of your child. You're not sitting down with them, talking to them, teaching them how a parent should be. I don't give a fuck what's on TV, what rapper doing what. At the end of the day, you got the most influence and control on how your child is gonna be and see and view this world. So it might just be a little bit of insecurity that they feel in that way, like that, because that is a basic life skill that everybody, I can understand the changing the oil and the tires, not knowing how to do that, know what I'm saying? But
I'm a woman and I'm sorry that I don't know how to change my own oil.
Yeah, because you're like independent though, so you don't want to sit around and wait for nobody to do something for you. You just get up and do it. And like everybody don't got that mindset. They do like to have help and everything. So certain things like that. If anybody
wants to clean off my car this winter, that's fine, hey, but I'll do it myself. But the fact that, I mean, our men don't know how to change a tire or, change oil. Okay, maybe. That might be true. A lot of men don't. I think that that's a basic life skill that should be taught. Now, me, I don't know how to change my oil or how to change a tire and stuff. Could have been taught that younger. Could have been taught that in school. This would have been an interesting program that will be out here for kids. But, hey, if you want to teach a program to kids, get with us and we'll coordinate it. How about that? If you know how to do shit like that, you're a mechanic, whatever, you want to coordinate it for young men and women, for adults who don't know how to do that. If you're a cook and you know how to cook, hey, you're a cook. And you want to coordinate a class for men and women, how about you come through and let us know? So we'll coordinate that, because men out there, we would like for you to know how to fucking cook. Ain't nobody your slave no more. This is not the whatever. And I know how to be a submissive female to the appropriate male. You should know how to cook. Females, you should know how to cook. Females, you should know how to change your oil and change a tire and do all this shit just like men do. We're not in inequality anymore. It's all about equality. So yeah, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to figure out how to change my oil, because I've asked men and they're like, no, I'll do it. Nah, and it's that waiting thing. Like, this is where the gender roles fuck you up. Like, stop participating in this limiting mindset of our genders, because they shouldn't be limited in any form. Period.
Right.
There's facts and then there's opinions. I mean, there's facts of what our bodies can do and what they can't.
Exactly, yeah.
And then there's this other thing. So there's that.
I think we covered it. I don't think, because it's not even a deep top. We made it deeper because the initial topic of a boy having a kitchen set to me is so awesome, is retarded.
What's like sad about this is, like, when I decided that I was going to have a son, when I realized I was pregnant with a boy, I was like, oh my God, it was so much deeper to me than me having a daughter, because I was like, the world is going to implement this ideology on my son. It was so much more frightening for me having a son, not like having a black boy in the world, none of that, like having a son, because he's not going to be allowed to have emotions in this world, and he's not going to be allowed to speak up, and he's not going to be allowed to touch a doll without y'all acting goddamn stupid, or cook on a fucking play kitchen set without y'all telling him that this is some gay shit, like, oh, you must like dick in your ass because you fucking did a pot. Like, it doesn't make sense. And these are the things that we consistently put on men, and then wonder why they can't be themselves, or why they're afraid to express, or why they can't express. It's because our society literally and consistently limits them and tells them how they have to be, what they have to do, or what they have to seem like to be manly or alpha or themselves. And that's entirely bullshit. And when y'all get ready to let that go, it'll be a wonderful fucking day for men and women.
It's true.
Sorry, this just has me aggressive.
No. You definitely got aggressive there. I was
it pisses me off. Like, it pisses me off. All right. But let's talk about schools. And I want to first start off by saying teachers are working their asses off right now. They're working their asses off. And before you start to talk any of that silly shit, just remember last year when you was homeschooling your kids all year and you had to do homework with them and you was fucked up. Like, damn, this is hard. This is hard with your own children that you know, and you know their strengths and you know their weaknesses.
Your 1-2 children.
1-2, and they got 20, 25 with different emotional triggers, with different, complexities in their mind and different intellectual levels. And they're doing this every single day, 20, 25 kids. Oh, they signed up for that. Yeah, they didn't sign up for it during COVID, and neither did we, but we realized how hard it was. First of all, teachers need to be paid more. Side note, fuck them tests. I mean, we use our tax dollars to pay for tests that don't matter. But how about that money that we use for tests and that we don't give to teachers be implemented in programs like this? If y'all want to talk about gender, fuck all that limiting gender. I don't have that ideology. How about we promote some classes that just give our children survival skills, that give them actual preparation skills. And this is not something that you need to come at teachers about. This is something that we need to come at the Ohio Department of Education about. And, reroute our entire mind. And it doesn't have to come aggressively like this, because this should just be sitting in my head. It can come, intellectually and appropriately. But why don't we have classes on how to change a tire and how to change your oil, and or how to understand how to do finances, or how to do economics, or how to cook? Why is home ec not there anymore? Why is wood shop not there anymore? No. Home ec, wood shop, all that is gone. Why?
I think it's deeper, because it's like they literally don't want to teach you independent things and life skills. They want to teach you stuff that can apply to corporations and fields to where you're going to be an employee and not an employer. Because if you look at trade schools, that's teaching you to be an entrepreneur, or a contractor, whatever. You can go work for companies or whatever, but that aspect of schooling and education is clear and concise, and you see okay, I could be independent here. The other way that they teach that is not bad, because you want to have general knowledge of the world, and geography, history, all that shit is cool, but to not have home ec and even wood shop. I was just thinking damn, the other day, I wish I took wood shop instead of home ec when I was in school, because that shit is handy. It comes in handy. When you get your own spot and you have your own space and you need to do woodwork and build and shit, just having that general knowledge, you don't got to go hire anybody. You saving that money, keeping it in house. Know what I'm saying? It's these skills should be prioritized, as well as the other stuff they getting taught in the curriculum. But like you said, the teachers have to just teach the curriculum that's presented for them. So we got to see what's up with the higher ups. But the higher ups, the people with the money, they want y'all to be employees still. So they don't want people to be empowered and have knowledge.
Literally. And that is a whole conversation that we need to collectively think about. What are our children being prepared for? What is being put into our children's mind? Me and my kids watched this documentary the other day called Gather, and it was about food sovereignty and how it affected the indigenous people, and their rights as far as hunting on the land and fishing from the water and building on the land. All those rights were taken away. So instead of them being self-sufficient, where they could go in their garden and get the crops that they had, where those fruits and vegetables were medicinal to their bodies, then they couldn't build for themselves, they couldn't live for themselves, they couldn't live these ways. They had to outsource to American grocery stores or to the American goods and services. They had to pay someone else to go get food that they knew how to grow. But it was interesting in the movie, they highlighted that their descendants don't know how to grow food anymore. So they are reliant upon the government. They are reliant upon society now. This is all ass backwards. And so this conversation is a trickle down of that ass backwards thinking. You think that your son shouldn't be playing, he shouldn't be playing in the kitchen, but back then he would have literally been preparing the harvest. And with, you know what I'm saying? They were hunters, yeah, but he would have, let's say just the hunters. Let's say the man was only going to be the hunter. He would have been skinning that animal, preparing it for the meal, doing all those things.
You gotta think about how the progression of food and humanity has came. Like, so women tended to the house. Like, let's talk about these gender roles, right? So you have women tending to the house. So that entails the kids, the cleaning, and just tending to the house, even the cooking, right? But you gotta think about preserving things, going and get the food. The man had to go hunt, and then he had to skin the meat, and then he had to smoke the meat or roast it, something to preserve it, dry. All these are processes of cooking, or forms of cooking. So it's not far-fetched for a boy to want to know how to do that early on. My son, but he see me working and he like money. So when he see me cooking and I'm getting money from it, it clicked in his head like, huh? I want to cook, because he asked me for a kitchen set last year. He got a kitchen set. He asked me for one. So it's not far-fetched for me to think that a kid will want to do that or want to be that. I remember growing up watching the Food Network and seeing Iron Chef and like Chef Emerald, and then you would see them like being competition, like cooking competitions and stuff like that. So you get that aspect out of it. Like, cooking gets competitive. And we know we got a lot of testosterone as men, and that's like another form of competing. Like, it's layers to this shit. Creativity. It's nuts that people think that that's makes you one way. Like, that's a feminine thing. Like, that's a human thing to want to create and compete and feed yourself, taste food. It's nuts.
And I literally haven't seen this on. I haven't seen it on my timeline.
How do you get back on this though?
Because it's all connected, and that's what's bothersome. Like, that's why this is making me aggressive, because it's like what men have to. I know y'all are like fuck men sometimes, but when you start to see the full reality of what's happened, you can understand why men are the way they are. And this is literally another level. But I'm not seeing it on my timeline. Maybe people on my timeline got sense. And this might be ignorant for me to say, but like, I don't know where these people who feel that way are. If you're homophobic, now that's a whole different thing. That's your own issue. But like, if you got fucked up gender roles in your head, like, you need to look at reality. We're not in the 1950s no more.
Yeah.
The woman is not the only one. Like, two people in the household got to go out and make money. And I bake. Baking makes me money. He cooks. Cooking makes him money. And that's just a side hustle on top of our regular jobs that we have. So like, stop limiting your children. Stop limiting yourself. Go out and get it. Like, literally. Right. I don't know. Tis bothersome to me.
Yeah. We gotta get it together. But it's coming together. Because we're in the age of Aquarius.
Oh,
or we're coming into the age of Aquarius. We'll discuss that next podcast.
We were trying not to talk about that yet.
We'll discuss it next podcast. But
no, I'm not. I'm not editing it out.
All right, back.
We had to pause because
she was getting hype off this shit.
And I don't feel like it should be what's the word? Where you try to like limit yourself for people. I don't think it should be censored. I'm not trying to be censored. I'm trying to be authentic about this. And this is how I feel. And if you feel a different way, that's okay. But this is literally how I feel. And it's because I'm seeing all the levels. And I'm about sick of humanity being sick. Like he said, the age of Aquarius is about here. And you can't do this no more. You can't live that way no more. You're not going to make it to the next level.
Too much information at our fingertips for you to be ignorant and naive to what's going on. Like, when somebody presents you with some information that opposes your views, people shut down and they get combative instead of being accepting and willing to hear the information out. Like, we're in an age where you got to start doing that. That's going to make you powerful. Even if it's something that may not align with what you want to do in your life or your way of life or way of thinking, it's still information that's available and may be needed or used for future. So instead of just being argumentative and dismissive with people, let's just start hearing them out and agreeing to disagree.
And I'm quite aggressive right now, but if I was sitting in a conversation with someone, I would hear their point and we would have a reasonable debate, like a conversation back and forth about why you feel that way. And if you got a different opinion, that's entirely fine. Like, do your thing, boo. but I'm going to unapologetically speak about how I feel. Because I have a son, and because I give a fuck about males, and I give a fuck about what they go through and the life that they have to live. And women, you should too, because it entirely impacts you. I know you would love it if your man made you a whole damn meal, and it didn't have to be like, oh my God, this is a surprise. Just when you got home, you didn't have to worry about that part of the day because he got it. It's taken care of, and it's not mac and cheese in a box. He got it taken care of. The pot roast smelled good. Like, that would be lovely. That would be helpful. That would be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. Let us know what else you guys want us to respond to or talk about, because obviously I get hyper about things a lot. Things make me very hyper.
Yeah, this was a subject we had to do because it was agitating me too. It got me to the point where, like, I'm fucking cooking today just because I was annoyed that I kept seeing that shit. And I'm like, these niggas are stupid. So it's not something that should be gender specific, and it's a life skill all humans should have as far as the cooking. And to summarize our take on the educational system, like, this curriculum needs to be broader, or they need to just make it an option to where you can just strictly go to trade school. You know what I'm saying? I believe.
I mean, I think that if in our education system, instead of like taking calculus, if you need calculus for what you're going for, that's fine.
That's it. Yeah.
But what you really need is to know how to grow some plants. If we have food shortages, like our food stuck on, you know, ships in the ocean, and there's not enough food in the stores, or there's going to be shortages, you wouldn't have to worry about that if you had a garden like our grandparents did.
That's
because our grandparents 2 generations ago.
But that's something, like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, there's too much paperwork and politics that they're gonna have to do to try to get that. Maybe we have to start our own schools and do it like, yeah. It's
our textiles. All you gotta do is put pressure. Everything trickles down. Whatever consumers want, if you apply pressure in certain ways, you're gonna get it. But it's that people aren't thinking about, like, how deep this is and how necessary and how serious this is. Like, it's sovereignty, it's independence, it's self-sufficiency. Like, they are literally taking those things away.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck them and just start our own schools.
Well, yeah, but niggas run 18 businesses. Ain't nobody got time to start a school.
I'm saying people in general. Like, it need to be more like LeBron schools and what's my dude? Brother Man, Pan-African. What's his nigga name?
Dr. Umar.
And who else? There's a couple people got schools.
But the way that you can do it in your little, without starting a whole school and making that your life's mission, is talk. You don't have to say, oh, let's have a conversation about gender roles. Like, hey, come in the kitchen and help me. Let's go in the garden. All my kids come in the garden and help me. Hey, there's a problem over here. I teach my daughters, like, I'm not going to be here forever. I might be gone tomorrow. I'm going to need you to know how to be okay. And when my son is 4 and when he's older, that conversation is going to be with him too. All this. You need to know how to do all this. Because I don't know when I'm not going to be here no more. And it's not because you're a female or because you're a male. None of that. My daughters are not going to be held back. And my son is not going to be held back based on his penis or their vaginas. It's not going to happen. Because I'm not held back and I'm not limiting myself.
Right.
And the man who I choose, the man who I'm with, he will not be limited. I will not allow that either. I won't stand for it. I won't settle for it. So, I don't know. But like I said, it's not on my timeline. I don't think that the people who I surround myself with think in these ways. And if you are around me and you think in these ways, just know if you want to have this conversation, we'll have it. And I'll continue to express this opinion.
And that's a good segue because you said earlier, like, hit us up if you know how to do these things, you have these skills, and because we do need to just start having clinics.
I would love.
We need to just start having clinics and teaching and educating ourselves and our peers and our kids ourselves. They don't need papers to show that they have a skill. They need the skill to show that they have the fucking skill. So if we just show them what to do and show them how to apply themselves, how to market themselves, we got it.
They do need the skill. They do need the paper for our society because that's how it runs. But if we could literally, like, something that I really, really would love to do in Painesville is, my problem was I had this whole calendar, this whole plan. We need a million things going on, but, like, we could do it step by step. If you want to teach 10 kids how to change a tire, 10 adults, I don't care. That little thing, if you are a tax preparer and you want to teach people how to do their taxes, please talk to us. We'll organize it. We'll literally put it together. We do a lot, so it's hard for us to do everything. But like, if we can delegate and other people, if you want to volunteer your time and do these things, we'll put it together. Like, the kids in the city deserve it. The people in the city deserve it. And we all deserve to have more knowledge and be more self-sufficient and more aware. So,
I mean, that's next step. We gotta do that. Oh, but the piece of paper point, like, to my street people, like the hair braiding, the cosmetology, the nails, all that. Like, I know you could do all that on the side and under the table. So get it how you live. But to her point, you do need a paper to survive. But I'm saying you don't. Get it how you live until you can afford to get that paper to show them that you're legit. But once you do that, you open more doors and you're going to be able to get more money. So always strive to get legit, but don't limit yourself. Fuck them.
That's a fact.
Do what you're going to do. Learn these skills to get your money.
That's a fact. They will definitely try to limit you without the piece of paper, but money is piece of paper. So go ahead and get that piece of paper first, and then go get that other piece of paper. Not that we're promoting,
Yeah, we ain't trying to promote it, but
or anything.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Get it how you live. You know what I'm saying. That's all we're gonna say.
Be independent, or whatever.
Entrepreneurial.
Get what we're saying. You get what we're laying down.
I mean, look at all these families that are in power right now. The Kennedys. Research who the Kennedys were. It was bootleggers. And that shit was illegal.
Wasn't Trump's family bootleggers?
Trump family, anybody who probably got power right now, their family was doing some illegal shit, and that's how they got ahead. You know what I'm saying? So,
but we're not promoting.
We ain't promoting it. I'm just saying that that's
talking
what
about
they do.
Facts.
This is what happens.
We're talking about American history, American leaders in history. Yeah. That's all we're doing. We're having a history lesson here. That's it.
Just go look up families that got rich off bootlegging when it was illegal.
Might find a couple prominent families or presidential families. All right, well, my aggression's kind of out now, so I got it all out.
She ate y'all up. I'm gonna say y'all though.
I've been waiting. I mean, there's more podcasts to come, and I have so much to just
oh my god,
vomit on the world.
Spider-Man's coming out,
of course,
in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So what do you want to podcast about? Oh, but we are going to podcast about the Age of Aquarius.
That's next. And then
we've been knowing about the Age of Aquarius for years, but I've been studying so that I can explain it appropriately for people who aren't aware of it. And there is so much to it and so many levels, and I want to give it appropriately, but it's coming in conversation, but it's already here, So just be prepared.
You can't deny it.
Mine.
It's coming. The water bear.
The water bear and the Leo. Ooh. Y'all don't even know about that. All right. Well, this was the Creation Podcast coming at you aggressively. Love you all, though. And it's only for growth, awareness, and self-progression.
I'll make sure she's nice next part.
Nobody can control me.
Me.